Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you details on how to price your baking goods. The first thing you're going to do when pricing is to write down the cost of each ingredient. Now, how are you going to do this? Let's say one of the ingredients is flour. I'm going to write down flour. Let's say a kg of let's say 1 kilo of flour is 2,000 naira, and I used, let's say, 200 gram of flour in this cake. Now, how much is going to be the cost of the flour? I'm going to say 2,000 naira divided by how many 200 grams of flour do we have in 1 kg of flour? We have 5. So it's going to be 2,000 naira divided by 5. Therefore, 200 gram of flour costs me 400 naira. So you are going to determine the price of each you are going to determine the price of each ingredient you use. To do this for all the ingredients you use, your flour, your butter, your sugar, everything, you're going to determine the cost, the total cost of each of them. You're going to determine the cost of each of them and write it down. The next thing you are going to write down is your overhead cost. Now, overhead cost contains cost of electricity, cost of rent, cost of gas, everything. You are going to write down your electricity bill, you are going to write down your water bill, that's if you pay for water. You are going to write down your rent, you are going to write down price for using equipment. You're going to add your packaging, you're going to add your gas fee. So how are you going to calculate all this? For water, most people don't pay for water in Nigeria. If you pay for water, you need to just put a little change for water bill or electricity bill based on how much you are paying for water or electricity. Now for gas, you are going to determine um, how much gas you are using to cook or bake this pastry. Then for equipment, you're just going to add a little amount of money, a very small amount of money to stand as payment for equipment, because your equipment have to pay for themselves as the business progresses. You can pay for labor. Let's say you have employees now. You're going to consider the amount of money you are paying your employees when you are pricing your baked goods. Now, if you don't have employees, you're the one making all your pastries yourself. You are going to charge per hour. For instance, you are making pancakes and you're making chin chin. Chin chin takes time. You have to mix. You have to spend time and strength mixing the dough. You have to roll everything out. You have to cut it and you have to fry it. However, pancake, I don't take time to whip up and bake and cook in a pan. Now you can't charge the same time. You can't allot the same amount of money for time for chin chin and for pancakes. You understand? The longer it takes to make a pastries, the more money you are going to allot to time. For profit margin, you have to work in percentages here. Now you can decide that my profit is going to be, I'm going to have 50% profit. So whenever you are done calculating your cost and everything, you are going to double the price. That's 50% profit. You can decide to have 40% profit. You can decide to have 20% profit. However amount of profit you have, work with percentages there. Now, how do you calculate your percentage profit? Let's say let's say I want to work with, let's say I want to work with 70% profits now, and I've calculated the price, the cost price of the pastry, and the cost price is, let's say, 1,000 naira, and I want to add 70% profit to it. Now that 1,000 naira is 30%. Now that 1,000 naira is 30% of the cost price. Now you are going to say 1,000 naira equal to 30% and x equal to 70%. You cross multiply and I'm going to find out what 70% is. Or another way you can do the math is you can say if 30% equal to 1,000 naira, then 100% equal to what? And 100% equal to x. Your value for x is going to be the total cost of that pastry. When calculating your price, you have to consider market price. Now, you can't always allow market price to influence. For instance, you want to price your loaf of cake. Let's say a certain size of loaf of cake, everybody's selling it for 1.5 and you want to sell yours for 1.5. Now, if you feel like your cake has more value than what's on the market, you can increase your price. If you feel like your cake is more creatively made, or you go the extra mile during your baking process, you can add to it, because at the end of the day, you have to be making profit in your business despite what everybody's selling at. So if you are going to increase the price of your pastry, make sure you have value to match that price. Because you can't just say, okay, I'm creative, let me increase the price. But where is the creativity? If people are not seeing that creativity in your pastry, then they are not going to pay extra for your pastry. So what if you are going to increase the price of your baked goods, make sure your service matches it. Another thing you need to consider when looking at market price is location. For instance, if you're going to buy meat pie outside, let's say from a retail store, it's going to be different from buying meat pie in a hotel. Hotel pastries are always more expensive than pastries outside a hotel. So these are the things you have to consider. When you are considering market price, you have to consider your customer willingness to pay. That's why I said that you have to, if you're increasing your price, now the next is to adjust for product size and product quality. For instance, I make banana bread and I have three sizes. I have the medium, I have the small, and I have the large. You are going to determine how much price. For instance, I use 100 grams of butter to make my smallest size, and I use 200 grams for my medium, and I use 500 grams for my large. Let's say 100 grams of butter cost me 1000 naira to produce. I'm going to multiply that based on the size. So since my um, since my large size banana bread, I use 500 gram of butter. I'm going to multiply that 100 gram by 5 to get the cost price of that 500 gram of banana bread. Now for quality, let's say using banana bread again, let's say I have my classic banana bread where it's just banana bread, and I can say if you want nuts, if you want me to top your banana bread with nuts or chocolate chip, this is the price you are going to pay for it. Things like that. You can increase the quality and add price. You can say plain banana bread is 5,000 naira. You can say plain banana bread is 5,000 naira. Banana bread with chocolate chip is 6,000 naira. Like that, depending on what ingredients you are using to increase the quality of that product. Now, when pricing, there are different strategies you can use to price. You can do volume discount, you can do seasonal discounts, or you can do promotional discounts. Now, for volume discount, you can say, let's say one banana bread is 500 naira, but if you are buying five, I'll give you for 2,000 naira. That's a 500 naira discount. So you can always add volume discount when pricing. Now, for seasonal discounts, you can say every November, or you can organize a Black Friday where you give 10% discount or 20% discount, whichever you make. Now, for your promotional discount, you can just pick a period, a 1 week period where you give where you are promoting your product, and you just give it to 10% discount while it's on promotion. Then after the promotion, the price goes back to normal. Now, it's important to constantly review the price of your products, because the price of baking ingredients usually goes up. Like, you can go today and buy flour at 2,000 naira, and tomorrow you go it's 2,500. So you have to continually review the price of your product, make sure you are not at any loss. Whenever you go to the market and you see that price of a certain ingredient has gone up, you go home and you adjust the price of your baked goods. So we've come to the end of this video. I hope by now you have an idea on how to price your baked goods. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.